Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Before we start, drop a like and subscribe for more Reddit stories just like this.
It all began with a memo. Our new HR director, Linda, had decided to revitalize workplace culture by enforcing the company dress code, a dusty 20-page document that hadn't been updated since the early 2000s. The memo was clear. All employees must adhere strictly to the dress code policy. Non-compliance will result in disciplinary action. At first, no one paid attention. The dress code was a joke, filled with outdated rules like no denim of any kind and ties mandatory for male employees. Most of us ignored it, assuming it was another tone-deaf HR initiative that would fizzle out in a week. But Linda wasn't joking. She started patrolling the office like a hawk, scrutinizing everyone's outfits. She called out Sarah in accounting for wearing open-toed shoes, a safety hazard, according to the policy, and sent Greg from IT home for wearing a polo shirt, collared shirts only. The office was in an uproar, but Linda was relentless. Then, one fateful Tuesday, she targeted me. I was wearing a perfectly professional blouse and slacks, but Linda stopped me in the hallway, her eyes narrowing. "Your blouse is sleeveless," she said, pointing to the policy on her clipboard. Page 12, Section 3. All tops must have sleeves. Consider this a verbal warning. I was furious. My blouse was fine. It was 90 degrees outside, and even the CEO had rolled up his sleeves. But Linda was power tripping, and I wasn't about to let her get away with it. That's when I decided to play her game. I printed out the entire dress code policy and studied it like a law student prepping for the bar exam. If Linda wanted to enforce the rules, I was going to enforce all of them. The next day, I showed up to work in full compliance. And I mean full compliance. The policy required business professional attire, so I wore a three-piece suit, complete with a pocket watch because why not? It also stated that accessories must be minimal and tasteful, so I carried a single pen and a notepad. No phone, no keys, no wallet. But the real fun began when I started calling out everyone else. The policy prohibited excessive fragrance, so I reported Linda for her overpowering perfume. It banned visible tattoos, so I pointed out the CEO's wrist tattoo, a tiny dolphin he'd gotten on a drunken vacation. It even required closed-toe shoes at all times, so I tattled on the entire sales team for wearing loafers. The office descended into chaos. Linda was inundated with complaints, and the CEO was furious. He called an emergency meeting, demanding to know why productivity had plummeted. That's when I dropped the bomb. I handed him a stack of reports, each one detailing a dress code violation I'd documented over the past week. "I was just following the policy," I said innocently. Linda made it clear that rules are rules. The CEO's face turned red as he flipped through the reports. He turned to Linda, who was sweating bullets. "Is this true?" he demanded. Linda stammered, trying to defend herself, but the damage was done. The CEO revoked the dress code policy on the spot and sent Linda packing. But the drama didn't end there. A few days later, strange things started happening. My desk was vandalized, papers shredded, drawers emptied, and a cryptic note left behind. "You should have minded your own business." Then, I started receiving anonymous emails, threatening to expose me for sabotaging the company. The final straw was when I found my car keyed, the words "snitch" etched into the paint. I went to HR, but they were useless. Linda's replacement was a nervous wreck, and the CEO was too busy dealing with the fallout to care. That's when I discovered the truth. While cleaning out Linda's old office, I found a hidden folder labeled "Confidential." Inside were documents linking her to a rival company, emails, financial records, and a detailed plan to destabilize our company from within. Linda hadn't just been power tripping, she'd been sabotaging us all along. I took the folder to the CEO, who immediately launched an investigation. But by then, the damage was done. Key employees had quit, clients had pulled out, and the company was teetering on the edge of collapse. Now, I'm stuck in a nightmare of corporate espionage, blackmail, and betrayal. I don't know who to trust, and every move I make feels like a step closer to disaster. So, Reddit, Here's my question. How far would you go to enforce the rules? And what would you do when those rules lead you into a trap?
If you enjoyed that story, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments what you would have done in this situation.